So we're going to take you through some strengthening exercises for the gluteal muscle group. This consists of the gluteus max, which is the big buttock muscle, the gluteus medius, which comes from the pelvis onto the hip, and the gluteus minimus, small muscle from the pelvis to the hip. So the actions of these muscles, the gluteus max is going to do hip extension, where it takes your leg behind you. So actions where you're running or pushing off, climbing stairs, mountain climbing, so forth. Anything where your leg extends back behind you. Also helps to turn the leg outwards slightly as well. Then you've got the gluteus medius, which comes from the pelvis over onto the hip. This takes your leg out and turns it in, as does the minimus, which is a small muscle, again from the pelvis to the hip bone. Now, in the modern lifestyle where we're sitting down a lot of the time, this muscle group can become weak or inhibited, where it's not working properly, which then means that other muscles will have to take over or help out to do the actions. So, as an example, a lot of runners complain of calf problems when you can't really find anything wrong. Quite often this is the glute max, because the glute max is helping you to push off. When this can't function properly, the calf muscle has to do extra work to try and push you off. So this is why sometimes you'll find you have calf issues, but there's nothing really wrong in there, but it's causing discomfort and it's tightening up. So we'll take you through a couple of exercises for these muscles, and you should have already done the hip flexor stretch in the previous video. If you haven't, I'd suggest you go back and look for that video. Stretch out the hip flexors, because they work in opposition to the main glutes, and if these are tight, they're going to restrict the ability of the glutes to function properly. So important that you do the stretch out first. You may also want to see the glute activation routine we have, which will take you through both actions. Okay, so first of all, we're going to do the glute max. You're going to come into a lying, what we call supine position, so you're on your back. Relax your upper body, knees bent, hips flex, feet flat on the floor. Now try and get your heels fairly close to your backside. Keep the feet initially flat and in line, so they're not pointing outwards, you're not going onto the outside edges. And also keep your knees in alignment, so don't let them come in or out. From here, I would take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in, you're going to push down through your feet, push hips up as high as you can. Again, keep the knees in line so they don't go out or come inwards. Drive the hips up and the pelvis up, squeeze the backside muscles as hard as you can, and ease yourself back down under control. So I breathe in, ease down under control. Now what you can do here is, initially I would pulse up and down. So slowly up, squeeze the backside muscles or the glutes as tightly as you can, hold for 1 to 2 seconds, and then slowly come down. Repeat that for 10 to 15 times. As you become more proficient at that exercise, you can then hold the upper position. So from there, you're driving up, squeeze the backside, and actually hold that position for 10 to 15 seconds. Now you might find that you start to drop, or you may only even get to this position. Now if that's the case, you may need to stretch out the hip flexors a little bit more, but you should be aiming to get as high as possible, squeezing the backside muscles really, really tightly. Hold that, and then slowly come down. Now if you feel the tension on the hamstrings or the backs of the legs, so yes, you will feel some tension there, but it shouldn't be a lot. It shouldn't be the main focus. If you're feeling that, you're probably not working the glutes enough, or you need to actually go through the glute activation routine. So it should predominantly be the big buttock muscle that they feel in that exercise. Also, another version of that, you can come onto your front. Now make sure the pelvic bones stay flat on the floor, so you're not rotating the back. Relax your upper body, bend one leg, lift the thigh off the floor and the foot towards the ceiling. Again, you can do pulsing, where you're squeezing the backside and knees down, or you can lift it and hold. Now what a lot of people will do, as they raise, they'll rotate their body off to try and get some extra height, thinking that more height is the better. You need to keep the pelvic bones flat on the floor and the rest of the body tight, or flat. So that's 2 exercises you can do for the gluteus max. One exercise you can do that will cover the gluteus medius and minimus. Either relax your head down on your arm or support it with your hand, whichever you feel more comfortable with. Get the legs on top of each other, so the feet are on top, the knees are on top, toes pointing forward, so not pointing away from you. And then if you need to support yourself with the upper hand, you can do. Try not to push down too hard, just give yourself a little support to keep your balance. And then you're going to bring the foot slightly forwards, so the heel of the top foot is just in front of the toes of the lower foot, and then raise the leg up 2 to 3 foot and rotate the whole leg so the foot comes down towards the floor. So you're not looking to get all the way up into the air, because you're probably going to start bringing in muscles and cheating the action. So just come up, so you should feel almost like a contraction or a not a spasm, but the muscles working over the hip joint. You may actually get a spasm. So just bring the foot slightly forwards in front of the lower leg, lift 2 to 3 feet and rotate the whole leg so the toes come down towards the floor. Again, you can hold that position for 10-15 seconds and then slowly come down, or you can do a pulsing action where you bring it forward, you raise up, brief pause and slowly down. Make sure that leg is rotated inwards so the toes are pointing down. And again, you want to do these on both sides, and make sure you do whichever exercise you're doing, make sure you do them on both sides. And that's the strength and exercise for the gluteal muscle group.